thanks for stopping by. I'd like to preface this video by saying it is not a tutorial, but it means to have something playing while you work on your own project. If you're like me and really enjoy having something on while you work, sometimes the content you like is very visually engaging and you're several hours in and haven't gotten nearly as far along in your project as you would have liked to. So that's where I come in. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. It is Sunday afternoon on the 20th, I think? What day is it? I have no idea. It is the 20th, okay. So, I think I'm just gonna be able to film one video because it is 5:30 and I just had to do something else for work that was also a video, and I just turned the camera around so I was on the white wall and did that a million times because somebody had to keep coming upstairs to go to the bathroom, and because that was not saying this is professional, but that was super professional, besides me wearing the same clothes right now, I didn't want them to hear that. So I was a little more polished than your typical Paws and Pearls video. But I did want to film because next weekend, which will be the week you see this, I have a lot of stuff going on Friday and Saturday. Well, Saturday I might be able to film in the evening, but I might be very tired because I have to go in physically to my job on Saturday and move things, tons of things. We have this big dumpster coming, and we have this big project that we need to have done before it gets cold, where nobody wants to go outside with a bunch of barrels full of material to be throwing away. So I might be tired and I don't know what Sunday's gonna bring, so I thought I'd at least try to do one video today to have ready for the next week, because this week is good. The weekend that I'm filming this, the week ahead is fine, but the week after is when all the crazy is happening. But I did want to stop in and just show you where I am. I've finished the other sock and I am now doing the heel flap of sock number 2 for my cousin's daughter, and I am only just finishing the 20th row. I need 26 back and forth before I can start shaping the heel to then pick up the gusset, and that's gonna take all of my brain cells to concentrate on that, but this is going pretty okay. I feel pretty confident that I can knit this and talk to you guys for a little bit at least before I have to stop and do that part. So that's what we're gonna do. I hope you're having a good Monday wherever you are. It was a week last week. It wasn't crazy. At least the time I'm filming this the previous week was not as bad as I thought it would be, but it was still pretty intense. And I found out that I've been volunteered for several things, and it's not the end of the world. It's just I have so many other things to do at work that I'm just why are you adding this to my plate? But if I want to grow, sometimes growing kind of hurts, and you do more things than what your job description says just because you want that extra credit on your paper, right? So I'm hoping all this extra credit is going to make up for everything, all the pain and suffering, but we'll see. We will see. So, as I'm knitting the first row with you guys, I want to once again say please do share any awesome gift ideas for myself that you think I would enjoy. At the time of filming, I will say thank you to Jenny for letting me know about some very pretty yarn and cool project bag shop that I am writing on my list, or writing. I already wrote it on my list of places to look at when it comes time to start adding all of the fun things to my cart when I have finished the month of September and then can make my purchases. So if you don't know, September is my birthday month. Hi, if you're new here. I am a Virgo. I know, it's the end of the world. And for my birthday month, last year as well, I had asked my wonderful viewers if there are things that you really enjoy in the knitting world that you think I would also enjoy, or just things I should check out in general. And what I did was I waited all of September to collect any sort of suggestions, and then when September was over, I looked at all that you guys let me know about, and if it fell within my Paws and Pearls finite budget, I then added it to my carts of sorts, and when it came in, I reviewed it. Well, not like a full review, but definitely showed you guys what I got. Now this year, again, I have asked all of you to let me know the things that are rocking your world right now, things that, you know, are your tried and true, or just really cool, or things like you're like, yeah, Paws and Pearls has talked about this or that. I think she would really enjoy A, B, C, or D. And I'll say, hey, thank you. I will definitely check it out. And that's what I do. Right now, I have not made any purchases besides some that I've already mentioned to you all, as far as like the Knit Picks yarn and the little book for myself because it had a cat pillow in it. Some other yarn, but a lot of that was like for other people, so I didn't count it. So I really haven't bought anything for myself yarn related at this point because the other stuff was for gifts. So I'm thinking, for me, what am I going to buy that I'm going to enjoy? And I'm excited because we don't have very much time left of this month. Actually, by the time you see this video, it'll be almost the very end of the month, because it will be. So I can't tote this promo much longer, but yeah, October will be when I make my purchases. And I will say that my partner, you may notice if you've been paying attention to whenever I have my nails, I talk about them often. They're short. They're long. They're longer than they would be if I was living my normal life in my office, busting them up every day. But for me, they're short because they have been very long. However, I had a fatality. I had already lost my thumb nail, got banged up a few weeks ago, and I cut it. And then my partner got me a new office chair for my birthday, and it came in the mail earlier 2 weeks ago. By the time you see this, it'll be 2 weeks ago, and I had to put it together, and the Allen wrench to attach the screws to the arms was the chair. It was well, I could easily find out how much it cost, but I don't like to do that. So I would say, considering where it came from, it probably wasn't like super expensive. It wasn't like a Herman Miller, you know, but um, expensive enough, because that's usually kind of a pricey purchase, but the design to assemble it wasn't the best. So the Allen wrench like rubs against the arm and rubs against the little mechanism to adjust the height and things, so you end up perhaps scratching it up if you're not very, very careful. And I wanted, because it's new, wanted to be very careful, and with that, turning the Allen wrench properly caused me to some stress on my nails, because it kept bumping the sides and stuff, and so I had a crack, and it was like just low enough that I could cut my nail across without like cutting into the nail bed. So I was like, okay, let me just cut it now before it gets worse. And then now that I had two nails short, like my index finger and my thumb too short on this hand, I was like, oh, that looks horrible now. So I was like, fine. So I just cut them all across, and I was so sad, but I'm like, you know what? My nails have been growing fast. I've been doing my oil treatment. I've been keeping them polished so that they don't break as often, and I think I'll be okay. So I just did it, and they're fine. They are growing, so I'm fine with that. And I got to try my last new polish, which is this wonderful candy apple red. It's called Strawberry Dreams, and it's by the same company that I bought the others from that weren't the best formula. But it's funny because the third bottle that I bought in that run has like the perfect formulation. Like the pigment, it's smooth, it's like a 2-coat. The other ones were too like chunky, like they're thick, so they didn't coat well, but then you still had to add another layer, and it was just a mess. So the third bottle was the charm. The third formulation was just the perfect ratio of pigment to binder, so I am happy. And it's also my favorite color of the 3 that I bought, so I'm gonna, of course, keep the other ones in the running because they're new, and I want to make sure I try them again. I might make them like just toenail polish, I don't know. But that first attempt with them was just not very good, but I love this color. Just pretty. But by the time you see this, well, no, next week I'll probably have a new color. I'm going to keep this one on the whole week because the weekend means that I'm going to do the physical labor, and I wouldn't want to paint my nails a whole new color just to get them really messed up on the weekend. So I'm just going to leave them like this, let them get gross, and then change the color when I'm done with my shift on Saturday. So who knows what the color will be, but it will already be fall when I film, so I'm thinking of busting out like my browns and my berries again to have my fall-like shades to wear. I'm super excited. And now that I've, used all of my colors, besides the black, but, it's almost October, so black will be coming soon. I just have like a new love for the colors I already had after I got to wear them all again. And really, yeah, I remember why I bought that one. It's cute. I like it. But I definitely need more blues and purples and nudie colors, like naturals. But there are so many other nail polish brands I haven't tried yet, so I'm hoping to expand and not just buy the same brand products all the time, but expand and try other formulas. Of course, all of them being cruelty-free, which is so nice. There are so many more brands out there that are cruelty-free for nail polish nowadays. It's wonderful. So, I was like, should I save this story for tomorrow? Or for Wednesday's video? I don't think so. My brother's fiance and he have joined essentially like an MLM, multi-level marketing. I don't know if any of you do it, and I don't know if any of you know someone, but almost everyone I know knows someone who is part of it or was part of one at some point. I personally, I might ruffle some feathers when I say what I say, but I don't think it's a good idea. I have purchased from people who were part of MLMs, but all the people I purchased from are no longer in those MLMs. They stopped. Not soon after they had tried to get me to, buy from them. But I will say they are, it's very interesting because it's like, am I supposed to be sharing this information with you? No, probably not. But it's more of a level of, I can't really talk to them because they're not listening to me. So I don't know. It's more of a vent than it is like an advice type thing. But if you want to add your 2 cents, please do. I don't think it's a good idea. They are, my brother is probably more financially well off because he was military. He did not go to college and rack up thousands and thousands of dollars of debt like his wonderful sister did. But at the same time, his fiance did go to school and rack up, I don't know how much she's in debt, but she's definitely in debt. And it sounds like she is working on ways to pay that off as quickly as she can. But this is not the first MLM she's been part of, because when I was out of undergrad and I was doing my thing, I might have been in, I don't think I was in grad school yet, but I might have been really early in my grad school career, and she hit me up and was like, hey, do you want to invest in this vacation package bank account? I forget what it was, but it was like you pay into it and then you basically just pay yourself for a savings account for a vacation thing, and they have special retreats and things. And I'm like, no. I looked it up because that's what I do. I look into things sometimes, but especially for that, if I'm paying something, like, what? No scam. Not like a scam, but definitely not legit either. Like, questionable. Not a lot of good results. Didn't want to do that, so I was like, no thanks. And her mom was involved in it too, and I was like, oh boy. So that was short-lived. I got one more call from her. She's saying, oh my gosh, I'm almost about to get a company car. I just need 40 more people to sign up or something like that. And I'm like, well, it's not gonna be me. I'm like, 1, I'm busy. 2, I'd never go anywhere even when I'm not busy. 3, I am not paying into a savings account when I can literally just put my own money into my own savings account. So no. If I really wanted it that bad, that's what I would do. So no. And now that, they always start out with the, hey, and I know this person, but it was still the same, like, hey. And I'm like, hey, like, why are you talking to me? How's it going? I'm like, well, I'm kind of in the middle of work. Oh, okay, how's that? Kind of some small talk out of the blue. Meanwhile, I did not get a birthday present. Yes, I'm going to be that petty. They did not send me a gift, and you guys saw, I got them, well, it's so petty to be like, I got you awesome gifts. And they even said, oh, we've got to, get you awesome gifts. So I'm expecting awesome gifts. But I really did want to do something nice for them. But the fact that she's like, buy some more stuff for me, I'm like, no way. That's all you got is a one little happy birthday text, and now you're trying to butter me up to invest in, or not even invest, but pay for some products from you from this questionable company. And I was like, okay, no thanks. But then I was like, oh, okay, you're gonna do that. I'm like, did you research this one? I'm like, how did you know about this? Who told you about this? And then she's like, oh, your brother had met this couple this, this couple that. They clued us on to this MLM, and, we want to be business owners. I was like, oh yeah, they always say they're business owners. I'm like, you're not a business owner. The business is the business. It's not like you're a franchise. It's not the same thing. But I was like, okay. I'm like, well, do you know how much this couple makes off of this company that they're part of? And she's like, no. I'm like, how did you research it then? She's like, yeah, we did extensive research, weighed the pros and cons, it looks good. And so, of course, I text my aunt, and I'm like, do you know that my brother and his fiance are joining this MLM? And she's like, I wouldn't say she's old. I mean, my aunt is older, but it's not like she's not in the know about things, but she didn't know what MLM was. So I said multi-level marketing, and I told her the name of the company, and she's like, oh, that's a pyramid scheme. And I'm like, they always say they're not a pyramid scheme by definition, but when you have one person at the top and more people and more people and more people and more people, and the person at the top is getting money based on what you're selling, that's a pyramid. That's a pyramid. Tell me I don't know my shapes. That is a gosh darn pyramid. So I'm like, okay. So I'm entertained. All right, I'll watch the video. There's this event that was yesterday. The time I'm filming this, it was yesterday. I'm like, all right, I'll watch the video. And yeah, totally all of the stereotypes, at least from me purchasing from other people who had MLMs before, wising up to MLMs after, and being horrified that I even entertained these things. I'm at the end. I can't do any more with you. I was like, yeah, this isn't it. And I just cannot believe that my brother not always being the most financially savvy, not saying I'm any Susie Osmond. I'm not a Susie Osmond. Who's the lady, the financial lady? Susie Orman. I'm not Susie Orman. And I am not like this Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That was a popular book by a guy who did real estate. I'm not one of those gurus. I myself am in debt from student loans, but I'm not jumping into like a get rich quick type of thing. Like, I understand that, sometimes opportunity knocks at your door, but this, if it worked, there would be so many more people doing it and being very, very successful. But you can only pay so many people in this thing so much based on the product. Plus, the company I do not stand for its ethics. It's sold in places that test on animals, and I am working more toward not a super granola sustainable life, but I am making more conscious efforts to what I do and where I spend my money, and that is not it. So I'm like, no, all of the no's. And it's just like mind-blowing that they have all of these other things going on and not one thing is pointing toward this being the solution for them. And I told my parents, because they are financially well off, they helped my cousin a lot with like her finances, and so they're kind of like the go-to of the family for like advice about that. And I'm so surprised that my brother did not talk to them. I'm very surprised that his fiance, who's more like on top of stuff, at least she seems to care more about like talking to them about things like that I would think she would have, especially my uncle, because he is like the financial person. But they didn't. And then my aunt was completely surprised. And she knows like the situation between my brother not having debt like that and his fiance having lots of student loans. I don't know what their consumer debt looks like, but I feel kind of bad because my brother's such a nice guy. He would pay. He had once come to visit me and my partner, and his friend had like been in a rut and didn't have money, I guess, to buy some things when we went shopping and stuff. So my brother would pay for him. And my brother, my uncle would joke, my brother would like overdraft his account $5 just to spend a penny. And that's very much exaggerated, but it's not far from the truth. So, thinking about how my brother spends money, thinking about how nice and good-hearted my brother is, I kind of feel like he was talked into this. I feel like he might have heard about this from this couple and maybe, perhaps, thought it would be a good idea just because he's a little bit gullible and told his fiance because she's struggling and they really, want to save for things and perhaps not be fiancés anymore and actually be married and have a home. And I'm hoping my brother considers going to school because he really wanted to be a teacher when he was younger. And not saying that your childhood thought is what you need to do and it's your trajectory, because that's definitely not the route I took, but I think he would be good at it. And it's just like, hopefully they didn't put that much money into this, but I don't think they're gonna make much return at all, if anything. And my aunt was like, yeah, he didn't talk to us about this, and I'm not going to help him. I'm not going to bail him out because this is a really bad choice, and he should have talked to us. And, I might give him a home-cooked meal every now and then if he's really that busted, but, I don't know. And I know this is probably, like, way too much to share with you, but I was talking with my partner, and I'm just like, I can't believe this. Like, this is crazy. But if you are part of an MLM, I hope you're doing okay. But statistically, success with that stuff is not high. And you have to usually be at the tippy top, or you might have people buying from you from your church or the kids' PTA, something. I always feel very protective of my little brother, and the fact that they're doing this thing is really worrisome to me because I hope, I hope, not saying she's a bad person, not at all, but I really hope that her motives aren't convincing him to make rash decisions to try to help her if it's in turn going to mess him up financially. And I know, you love somebody, you'll do a lot of stuff for them, but if your future, like, can go south because you're financially ruined and you did a lot of stuff without doing a lot of research, looking at all of your options, or just getting a normal part-time job that will pay you every week or every 2 weeks or once a month this amount of money, and maybe you stop, buying lots of alcohol. Maybe, you look at some other ways to feasibly cut down your spending on things you don't need. Maybe you look at different ways that you can cut down on your spending. Not saying that that works for everybody, but not normal, but like part-time job, looking at ways you can consolidate your debt, ways you can go on like income-based repayment if that's really the case. That's what I do. I pay by what I make and what my tax statement says, and that helps me to still afford to eat and pay my student loans every month. So it's a nice even mix, and there are other ways. There are other ways than a get rich quick, and a get rich quick can sometimes bite you royally in the behind. And my brother, he's just a nice guy, and I don't think he's thinking all this through. But I'm not gonna say, hey, you might not want to do this, because as my aunt mentioned, he's a grown-up and he's gonna do grown-up stuff, and he's gonna learn some grown-up lessons from doing some stuff. But at the same time, it's just like he has potential, but this thing and other things that have happened while they've been together have just rubbed me the wrong way, and I hope I don't become one of those weird people who have like this animosity or like this weird tension with my in-laws, because one day they might be able to afford to they could easily just get a courthouse wedding and be married right now, no problem. You don't have to do a big thing to be together. Maybe they're not married because she has this debt and she wants to pay it off first, and he's willing to jump through all kinds of hoops to help her. I'm not sure. I don't know those details, but those are kind of what I'm thinking, because they've been engaged for like 3 years, 4 years, something like that. It's a long time. And it's just like, what? But I'm just imagining like when I'm 50, and one day I'll have a room that's free and my brother will be living in it, because my parents were like, no way, Jose, you're not staying with us because you messed up your finances. And then he's like, please, please, big sister, help me out, help my brother out, help me out. And I'm like, I guess, because you're my brother and you're my family and I love you, so I'm gonna do what I can, but I will not pay into this MLM business and support those shenanigans. And it's just bothering me. But he's a grown-up. It's not my life. But I care. And I'm worried that his fiance is making him do things that are not good for him. Or for both of them. Like, why are you going to spend money to make money like that? When you don't have the money to spend like that, why are you going to spend it? Versus like, hey, I have 50 grand, I'm gonna buy a house and flip it and sell it. Like, if you have the finances to do that, or I have money to buy a property and rent it, sure, you're secure and you can do that, and you want a little bit of passive income. But when you can't rub two pennies together, that's not what you do. But maybe I'm just talking crazy. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm right, or if you think I'm wrong, or if there's a little of both. I know it's none of my business, and it's none of yours, and now it is your business, but it's just weird. I just can't understand. And my partner, who I've confided in because I was literally like screaming as I was texting my fiance-in-law? I don't know what she is to me. My brother's fiance. I have no idea of how to create these family ties if they're not actually married. But I'm just like, oh my gosh, I just got this text from the lady and she wants this done and she wants that done and holy cow. And I just texted my aunt and she said this about my brother and this about the fiance, and we're all just like beside ourselves with what's happening. But yeah, okay, I just had to get that off my chest because it's been eating at me, and I'm so glad you were listening. But if you already clicked out, it is what it is. Hopefully on Wednesday I will have a video where I'm not talking about this, which I doubt I will. It'll be a while after the dust will be settled. I'll probably be in a different headspace, but that is what's going on in the Paws and Pearls life. It's just fretting over my brother being in financial ruins over this thing that they're investing in, and it's just hard just to know that this might be a bad choice, and it could be a good choice. Things could go well for them. They might actually be able to make a profit. But statistically, investing in this, me being able to read up on it and know about people who've done these things, I can say it's going to be hard. If they are successful, it's going to be very hard. Very, very hard, considering all of the factors in their own life, in their own network, to make this work. So, that's what I'm gonna say. I will see you Wednesday. Bye.